want on a practice squad. Somebody that's trying to get to his job and do it right and be good at it, and they're going to go hard even when they're the scout team. Those are the best players of your practice squad. The dudes that you can't make stop going so hard on the football field. So Shilo Sanders may just be back with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they release him this early. Just keep watching for it. The Shedeur Sanders situation is interesting. We saw what happened the other night in the last preseason game. Dylan Gabriel had his time, played okay. Played really well. Played much more, not really well. Played much better than Shedeur Sanders. Now, I've seen things come out with Shedeur Sanders. His whole offensive line basically got cut and everything. But that's what NFL football is. See, and that's the next level of football. So I don't buy into people trying to cut into Shedeur because they say, we saw some of the things we saw at Colorado. Hell yeah, you saw some of the things you saw at Colorado. Shut up saying stuff like that. What did you see at Colorado? You saw him running for his life at Colorado a lot. Yes, just like he did the other day. But the difference is, when he did get time in Colorado, he was considered one of the most accurate quarterbacks in college football. When you gave him time in that Carolina game, he looked pretty good. So what I'm saying is I understand that third level, that final level, and that great level, and the level that the greatest of all time played at all the time is, I know how to make a soft offensive line look good. I know how to make an offensive line that's average look great. Because Tom Brady, he's pre-reading everything. He's getting the ball out of his hand. That game, this is his kid's second real NFL game, and seeing and these defenses may get a little more complex offense, putting in a little bit more, and you're learning right now. You can't control the whole game for the offensive line just yet. You're trying to slow down the game in your own mind right now. That is what I saw the other night. And all of that, if that one play where he does duck and dodge bullets back in the backfield and make a throw, short pass, and the running back drops the pass, he could have been running with it right now today. If he had caught that ball, it's 2 days later, he would still be running right now. And he did not. And that would have made a whole difference in Shedeur Sanders' night. That one play. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens next. But better believe it, I'm going to jump in the locker room and talk to you guys about it. I will be getting ready to jump on this next episode and talk to you about that shortly.
For more, welcoming in CBS Sports NFL analyst and former Raiders CEO Amy Trask. Amy, these cut-down day decisions have got to be tough. Not only is it about talent evaluation, but also I'm curious, as a former CEO of the Raiders, how much of a factor is the salary cap in some of the moves that these teams make to get to 53?
Well, it is a tough day, not only for the reasons you just discussed, cap, cash, and I'll touch on that in a minute, but there's also a very human element to this. So often the players are discussed as if they're commodities, but they're human beings. And for some of them, today is the end of a dream. For others, they will have to pick up and move on a moment's notice. Some have children who are in schools, and then you don't know what to do with that. And they have significant others with careers. So tears are shed. And I don't mean that in a figurative sense, Madeline. There are tears shed. And when I point this out, people often say to me, oh, Amy, they make a lot of money. To which I answer, I know, I signed the checks. They're still human beings. But as to your question as to cap, we hear about cap all the time on cut down day. Everyone's talking cap, cap, cap. But Madeline, there are teams that care far more about cash than they do about cap. The cap is a method of accounting. And yes, you need to factor in cap considerations. But there are many teams that care more about financial ramifications of the roster. Cost, profit and loss, as opposed to simply cap.
Yeah, a lot of factors go into these decisions. And like you mentioned, they're tough ones because they are considering the human element as well. Some players are going to be packing up a moving truck. Other players might be realizing the end of their NFL careers. Now, one player that is packing up a moving truck, Kenny Pickett. The Browns traded quarterback Kenny Pickett to the Raiders Monday night for a 5th-round pick. Now, this is interesting, Amy, because we see the crowded quarterback room in Cleveland. It's down to 3 now, Joe Flacco, and then the rookies Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. But Kevin Stefanski had previously alluded to the idea of potentially keeping 4 quarterbacks on the roster. So with Pickett traded and Deshaun Watson on PUP, they're down to 3 now. But as often as we see it, it's not often we see a team keep 4. So what challenges does that pose if a team does decide to go that direction?
Well, I like this trade. I like this trade for Las Vegas. I like this trade for Kenny, and I like this trade for Cleveland for the reason you just said, Madeline. I think it's tough to keep 4, and I think it's tough for a few reasons. Cleveland has got to figure out what the heck they are doing at the quarterback position. And with only 3 on the roster, recognizing that Deshaun is still not ready to play, you're going to be able to focus more on developing those quarterbacks. 4 quarterbacks is a crowded quarterback room. And of course, you're taking an extra spot on the roster that could go to someone else. So I like this trade for Vegas. I like it for Kenny, and I like it for Cleveland.
The Browns, of course, going with the veteran Joe Flacco as the Week 1 starter and the rookies as the backups. The Falcons going another direction. They're moving forward with second-year quarterback Michael Penix Jr. as their starter, and Kirk Cousins remains QB2. Considering the sizable contract Cousins signed in 2024, a 4-year, $180 million deal, Amy, how does having such an expensive backup quarterback affect what the Falcons are able to do with this roster?
Well, at this point, they may regret having entered into a contract of that magnitude because, as you noted, he's not starting. But credit to the Falcons and credit to any organization who will say, you know what, we may be under contract for a lot of money, but if we don't believe that that player gives us the best chance to win, okay, we're going to be paying the money one way or another. We're going to start Michael instead. There are teams that wouldn't do that. There are teams where ownership or others would weigh in and say, oh, no. We're paying him that amount of money. He needs to start. But if your coaching staff doesn't believe he gives you the best chance to win, either short-term or long-term, however you're engaging in that evaluation, then sitting him is a wise thing to do.
Tough decisions to be made all around the league. The Princess of Darkness, former Raiders CEO Amy Trask, thank you so much for the insight.
Thank you.
Now, Kirk Cousins looked strong in the early going last season, winning 6 of his first 9 starts, but then everything changed. Prior to being benched, he went 1-4, throwing 1 touchdown compared to 9 interceptions. It appears the Falcons and Cousins are content with him riding the bench in Atlanta.
Spencer Rattler's our starting quarterback. Really excited for him. He's done an awesome job this